Hey everybody, Howard Blues here, and of course, Kidder's here as well. We wanted to, just before we start the show, take time to basically talk about a friend of the show, our friend Smallz. We got word that he's going through some medical issues. He's in the hospital, and he's a good friend of ours, one of our regulars for playing Call of Duty with, and such. Just a all around good guy. And so another friend of ours has started a GoFundMe to try and help Smallz with these hospital costs. And so while Kidder and I love to plug our own stuff, if for once you don't want to take and donate to us or buy our merch or things like that, we would be okay if you don't do that. If you maybe go and throw a few bucks towards Smallz and help him out. So we have the information on the screen right now. Future Howard's putting it in. Future Kidder's making the graphic as I even speak on this. So it's a great future effort. And we have links in the show notes to that. But we just wanted to send some love that way and try and help out a friend of ours. So Kidder, I don't know if you have anything you want to add quick.
Absolutely. Known Smallz for years, and he's always upbeat, and we have had a lot of fun along the way. A huge wrestling fanatic in his own right, and an even bigger fan of Creedence Clearwater Revival song, and really gets the blood pumping when you're playing Call of Duty. So, sad to hear with Smallz going through this, and so I really want to encourage you and all of us to hop on the GoFundMe page here, and if you're able to help Smallz in this time, and always wishing the best for our little brother Smallz and everything that he's going through. So best wishes, positive thoughts, positive vibes. We'll get this going for you here, Smallz, and we are thinking of you in our hearts and minds, and right here on a Triple B. So from our show to you and everywhere in between, looking forward to having some more Call of Duty time with you, brother. So best wishes, fast recovery, and we'll catch up with you again real soon.
Legend tales of a place where the booze flows freely and the stories are always entertaining. If you were bold enough to seek out such a place, head 13 miles down the Tuscan Highway to a tiny blues joint known as the Townsmith Tavern. Once there, enjoy the ride. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to a UA production of Beer, Blues, and Bowl.
Excuse me, you can't say that. You're gonna lose your family-friendly rating. You're gonna corrupt the kids.
BS! A podcast that invites you to grab a cold beverage, pull up a seat, and enjoy time with friends. And here are your hosts, Howard Blues and the Mark Kidder.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Beer, Blues, and BS, the podcast that is actively seeking an Italian plumber to deal with a mushroom problem. I'm your host, Howard Blues, here, as always, with my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, the Mark Kidder. Kidder, how you doing tonight?
I didn't know that the shroom problem got out. It's a little bit moist in the lawn. Do you have a shroom problem too, brother Jaco?
Kidder, I have pulled, I've been pulling mushrooms out of my lawn for 3 weeks now. And I mean grocery bags full of mushrooms out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah, in fact, even last night, Lefty got home from work. It's like, 8:30. She's sitting down for dinner. I'm like, hey, since you're here, you can watch the little one. And I'm out there in the dark picking mushrooms out of my lawn before they open and expand and release their spores and grow more. Yeah, it's been.
I got a bag of stuff for you. You spread it on there. You tell fungus to F you. Really putting the FU in fungus. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know there's stuff out there. It was one of those things, like, it started small, like, oh, a couple here, a couple there, and
that's where they get you. That's where they get you there, Jake.
Yeah. No, they've been just spreading, man. It's been incredible. I've never seen mushroom growth like this in my entire life, in like any of the yards I've ever owned or had to mow or any of that. I've just never seen it. And it's just like constant. Mm-hmm. Even last night, I didn't get all of them because there were some of them that were just still little nubs coming up out of the ground. It's
makes you feel like you're at a music festival with a bunch of hipsters.
Yeah. It's I will say, Lefty did a little bit of research when we first saw this to see, hey, what are the solutions? What, this and that. And at least some of the stuff that she found is that mushroom growth is actually sign of a well-fertilized, and a healthy yard. So I got a very healthy yard, kidder. So healthy that everybody thinks it's a fun old time. So, yeah.
And I have the same problem. So you and I are in the boat of top quality yard craftsmanship. So I applaud you.
I wouldn't say that I did much to get that. I'm going to still say that it's past owner hand-me-downs, but
sure.
Yeah, it's been like the battle for the last 3 weeks, is like every now and then to go out and like, and I've been lucky. Junior hasn't had any interest in them until just recently. He actually picked one and it's like, oh, no, don't like, I have gloves that are stained black from the first time I had to pick these things. So it's like, Junior, just stay away. So,
and then I go out there with my stuff, the granules, and I as I'm running along with my spreader, watching the fungus among us die. It's a fun time in my neighborhood.
Hey,
so
I was gonna say, it's quite the neighborhood you live in. I mean, you have a P-Rock.
Well, I don't have a P-Rock. That would be called trespassing if I went over there and found the P-Rock.
Well, it's in your neighborhood.
Or partook in the P-Rock. And I don't want to partake in the P-Rock because the P-Rock is part of their peeing problem, and they could keep their peeing problem on the P-Rock in their yard if they knew how to stay in their yard.
Yeah. If you don't know what we're talking about, we talked about this in a past episode. So go back, check it out.
Enjoy.
Listen.
Please. So to answer your question, I have to say that I'm glad that the time is finally here where we get to do our weekly connecting and beverage partaking. And tonight, the first night I have done this on the show. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
This is almost breaking news because it's only taken 31 episodes for this to happen. What is it per se?
I think I know what it is.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yes. The beer with green olives. And tonight, I haven't really expanded my beer collection, so this is a Budweiser Select with green olives. Yes, thank you very much. And look at that. Even in the Budweiser glass, if I can get the light to focus, look at that. That's a quality 16-ounce glass right here.
Oh.
Yeah, it even shows you where the 16-ouncer lines up on there. So good stuff here there, Jaco.
Yeah. You enjoyed that beer with olives.
Oh, thank you. The first 3 sips right there. Marvelous.
Hmm.
What's on your countertop tonight to pop the top and check it out? What do
Well,
we have going on?
I'm gonna say I've had the beverage that I have tonight. I've had it before, so it's not like a ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's not like a ooh. What is Howard going to torture himself with this week? Yeah, we're not doing that. What I have here, it is a Flying Cauldron butterscotch beer. Yeah.
Butterscotch.
Yep, it is a butterscotch cream soda. So,
Alcoholic cream soda.
no, it clearly says that on the label, non-alcoholic.
Did you spend too much time on that other crappy show where you forgot what this show is all about? I mean, I know we got drafted, but we somehow found our way back here. So the big question, what the hell are you doing, man?
Well, Kidder, I'm glad you asked. It's because almost as soon as I'm done with this show, I have to basically hang this up, run upstairs, hit the sack, because my alarm's going off at 5:30 in the morning.
Woo!
Yeah, because we are traveling with the in-laws to Fargo to attend a baby shower. We have to be there at 10 o'clock a.m.
I see.
So
you're taking the slow boat from Bismarck.
Well, you have to realize, like, we have to get like our stuff loaded in because we're carpooling in with the in-laws. So, and there don't have to be bathroom breaks and such. This will actually be Junior's longest road trip. So we'll see how he does with that. It could go great. It could go bad. But here's truly the best part of it, Kidder. After the baby shower, we're going up to El Forco Grande, and Junior's going to get to go to his first Your Fighting Sioux hockey game. So I'm actually going to be at the Ralph tomorrow night watching our Fighting Sioux hopefully get the sweep on the Bemidji Beavers. Yeah.
And they're pesky Bemidji State Beavers, I see. Yes. And I know that this portion wasn't in the show at the point there, but the game finished. And I gave the big scoring update for Howie Blues that the Bemidji State Beavers' final score in this game with 3, your University of North Dakota Fighting Sioux 4. So you knew the number had to be higher because Howie already said, hopefully going for the sweep tomorrow. The sweep! So if they lose against Bemidji tomorrow, we will know why, because Howie Blues is at the game once again, bringing the traditional luck to those games that he makes it to.
Yep. Yeah, Kidder's not lying. It is kind of a cursed thing. When I lived in Montana, and the Sioux would make it into like the playoffs, they'd finally be like on a channel where like I could watch. And every time I tuned in, because I'm like, hey, my Sioux are in the playoffs, they'd lose. So we have joked that I am like a bad penny. I'm not good luck usually for the Sioux. But I'm hoping that Howie Jr. will cancel that out. And we're going to have a fantastic game and a fantastic experience. But it is going to mean a long day tomorrow. And because of that, Howard doesn't need to be hungover. So hence the non-alcoholic beverage tonight so that I can hopefully get a good night's sleep, feel well rested, and enjoy being back at the Ralph Engelson. I haven't been to a game in years now, so this is exciting for me. So I'm looking forward to it.
It's been several years for myself already as well, which is kind of disappointing. In fact, in the past few years, I've been to more games at Baxter Arena in Omaha than I have been to games at the Ralph, which is, I mean, it's good because you know why. Because went down there, Rude Boy Kyle and brother Nico, we all went, had a good time. But yeah, need to make it back to the Ralph myself. Because both of us worked there back in the day. In fact, I still say that it is the best job that I ever had. And I'm sure you'll say probably the same thing.
I don't know if it's the best job I ever had, but I will say it as a college kid, best job I had as a college student. You were in a different spot. You were in the production side. I was on the usher and ticket taking side. And hey, for anybody out there, if you are a college age student,
Needing a job, yeah.
Yeah. Working at like the sports arena for your school tends to be pretty good. I know for me, like there was a huge pool of us. I got to sign up for which games I wanted to do. And because they had a large pool, it was pretty easy to like drop out if something came up. But for the most part, like all I really had to do was help people find their seats, enforce the green line rule, answer a few questions here and there, but otherwise, I stood there and got paid to watch hockey. Often that other people had spent large amounts of money to go and see. So,
Yeah.
and I wasn't the only one. Lefty worked there. The gentleman from Indiana worked there as well. So, and in fact, there were a couple others. And a bunch of us, what we used to do, because it was so expensive to eat at the Ralph, and being poor college students, we always kind of waited. We'd take our breaks to just kind of go and find where the rest of us were in the arena. So we'd go stand and chat on our break with each other. But then after the game, we'd go out usually to eat. And, it's like, if we're going to spend that kind of money, let's go somewhere a little bit nicer. So yeah, good times working at the Ralph and such. So, but
will say that I always loved while the warm-ups were taking place, because most of my games were in the Fighting Sioux women's hockey, and may that program at this point rest in peace and hopefully come back soon. But there would usually be a couple of us from the press box who would have that time during the 15-minute warm-ups where we could run down to the other, basically straight across the arena to the other side on the main level, and either get the Cloverdale hamburger or the Cloverdale hot dog and maybe a bag of chips, and then hike back up. And man, I love Cloverdale hot dogs and hamburgers, on the grill and buying them, bringing them home. But there's something about all those delicious burgers and hot dogs at the arena. It's just so damn good. But and I'm probably a little hungry again now too. But yeah, I mean, all the games that we went to work, getting paid to watch all that hockey. The World Juniors tournament is another example. Some of the finest hockey players coming up in the world, all in one place. The World Curling tournament. I mean, that was fun. And then the slew of concerts and other special events that you get to see and be part of, essentially, for getting paid to be there. Awesome.
Yeah. I mean, oh yeah. I've got to see comedians like Jerry Seinfeld perform, and concerts like Weird Al Yankovic, BB King, and of course Blues Traveler. The one time I got to go to Blues Traveler was at the Ralph. So yeah,
I'm sad I missed out on that one, but maybe one of these days.
It was a good one. It was my first time seeing him in concert. The only downside was the opening act for Blues Traveler was Gin Blossoms. And I forget what the Big Gin Blossom song is, but it was one that I've never been a big fan of. It's kind of repetitive. We used to play it in pep band when I was in South Dakota. We'd play it.
Found out about you, perhaps?
Might be that one.
Found out about you, and I don't want to sing anymore so we don't get sued.
At Future Howard will probably.
He's going to remember.
Yeah.
That one. That one. Yes.
Yeah.
One.
Anyway, it was one of those. Was never one of my favorite songs, so that was kind of torturous. But Blues Traveler was fun to listen to. The highlight of it was they did The Devil Went Down to Georgia, the famous Charlie Daniels song, but they did it as fast as they could, and it was amazing. So got to see Blues Traveler, and that was a lot of fun and such. And speaking of Blues Traveler, Kidder, I saw this just a little bit ago, and I didn't even put it in there, but apparently they're releasing yet another song for Blues Traveler's Blues. So we reported a couple of episodes ago, actually the episode that just came out tonight, that Blues Traveler canceled the rest of their 2021 tour. But yeah, they have a new song coming out. I forget the name of it. Again, Future Howard. I'll put it up here. But yeah, just they're at least putting out another song. So I'll have to check that out when I get a chance. So
awesome. I'll keep my eyes out for it as well. And since we're on the topic of music, and I mean, awesome jobs and whatnot, go Sue. I just wanted to mention this, a quick shout out and thanks, not only to the dudes from Saul. This album right here is their latest album called Rise is Equals, their first full-length album. And again, there's a little bit of the inside as best they can with the lights and the back. But as you can see, our boys from Saul signed this album just for me, so I appreciate it. Aside from that, the real big thanks goes out to Brother Chuck. Everybody knows Brother Chuck. Big thanks to Chuck for actually purchasing the album. And there's a little bit better look at the album itself. But thanks to Chuck. He was buying a bunch of albums, helped the guys from Saul out, because really this is the way that if you want to support a band, buying their albums in person at a show or off of their website is the way that you can support the band. And so he was at their shows when they were up here in August, and like I said, bought a bunch of CDs. In fact, he's like, "Oh yeah, Kidder needs one, but throw another one on there, and hey, you guys want to sign it?" And they're like, "Hell yeah!" So thanks to our brother, they're going above and beyond to buy this for me, and on top of it, have the guys sign it. So thanks, Brother Chuck. As Big Dad Rich would say, "Oh yeah, that's pretty sweet." Big thanks. I don't know if he actually said, that's pretty sweet, but that's really how he talks. Big Dad Rich in the Texas hippie coolish. So thanks, brothers from Saul. And if you want more info on Saul, to buy their album or other merchandise, you can check them out online. And you know what? Look at that. The website just happened to appear right here. Mm-hmm. And if you want to find out more about Saul and the album, their tour as they're going on to, you can check out that episode where we talk about this album and much more on the Triple B. It's a special episode about Saul and our friend Blake and the rest of the guys from Saul. So check that out. So thanks.
And for our audio listeners, guess what? Howard put it in the show notes. So
hell yeah, Howard. Awesome. Since we're on the topic of music, fun, different things, buying stuff, going to merch stores, I have a surprise for you. You can't see it. He's on the edge of his seat. He's practically falling off right now.
Well, not really, because this is a director's chair, so it's kind of a cloth seat. So if I sat on the edge, bad things would happen, man. Bad things. Besides, it'd be noisier than anything if I really start moving in this thing. One of these days, I'll upgrade to an actual like office seat chair, with some good lumbar support. But
okay.
One thing at a time. Anyway, you have a surprise.
One of these, yes, I have a surprise, and I'm trying to figure out which. It wouldn't give me the name of the window because I'm trying to share it, and I'm trying to figure out which window it is. I have too many windows up. So I found the window. Here it is, as it presents. Ta-da! This window you have seen before, and you may or may not see it again. Please, hopefully, see it when you click the merch button at beerbluesbs.com and then go on here and, buy some cool stuff. But I wanted to bring it up as a surprise because we have a new product on here. So you have your traditional Triple B products, the Kidder's Perfect Old Fashioned, and of course, Howard's Cave of Wonder, as we've discussed before. But look at this. Brand new merch on the store. Yes. Got to load it so then you can see this in all of its glory. Yeah. The Can I Get My Money Back Triple B approved official t-shirt. I should have put it on there official, but there you go. There's the design, and that's the front of it. You get the Triple B logo, microphone, and the slogan of "Can I Get My Money Back?" And of course, on the back, the Triple B logo and website. So then you can share that with your friends in front of or behind you. On top of it, look at that! It's an exclusive Kidder creation. That's with the hand-drawn microphone, the slogan from the big one, and of course, much more. So I wanted to share that with you. Another edition on the Triple B merch store, available right now at beerbluesbs.com.
And I will throw in, Kidder, the design for this shirt was actually done the last time we were joined by our good brothers, Rude Boy Kyle and brother Nico. And if you want to actually see that process, it happened during us playing an actual game with each other. So that is in the bonus episodes. Actually, no, it's not in the bonus episodes. You can find it on YouTube. It's our one and only ever deleted scene. It didn't actually make the episode, but you can go in and watch us play the Jackbox game TKO and see this shirt get designed.
And I do have to share with you, and this is a perfect moment to bring it up. Our brother Nico was the proponent for this design, and he purchased one of those shirts from the game, because any of the designs after the game's over, you can buy the design if you really like it, if you make something that's funny, or everybody can buy it, right? He purchased this shirt, a Triple B original, not this shirt, because this is another exclusive Kidder creation. I designed the other one as well. It was a little bit different with that. This one I designed and put it on the shirt, specifically for the shirt. So,
yeah. So, no, I was kind of hoping it was one of those that was being added. So
now the big question is, did I send you that photo
of him with the shirt?
I don't think I did. Oh, it doesn't look like it. So I will get that over to you so we can, right now, we can put Brother Nico on the screen in all of his glory. Thanks, Brother Nico, for supporting the show.
Oh, yeah. Well, Kidder, I know we were talking in the pre-show about our weeks that we had, and boy, did I have an interesting week. So on Wednesday, I was supposed to travel out to Medora to the Chateau de Mores. I'm doing a project out there with the staff out there. We were going to record some footage to make a video that helps with some of the inaccessible parts of the chateau. We have a couple of places where if you're in a wheelchair, if you don't do stairs well, I mean, you just can't get upstairs. And the house was built in 1883. There was no ADA compliance. So one of the projects I have is to figure out ways to bring those inaccessible spaces to more people. So we were going to go out and we were going to do this whole interview and make a video. And we didn't have enough staff who were actually going to be out there. So I actually, like Tuesday afternoon, canceled my travel plans. And this ended up being a bit of a good thing and a bit of a bad thing, because Wednesday now meant that I was going to be in the office. I showed up at the office at my usual time, which is about 7:30 in the morning. And as I'm walking down the long corridor, and Kidder, you've been down in my office area, it's all basically a long hallway.
The bowels, yes.
Yeah. But I noticed down by our office, there's a pair of trash cans. One, like the big 55-gallon, and one I think was actually our cardboard recycling dumpster. We're down in the hall, and it looked like the floor was wet. I'm like, uh-oh, this isn't good. And so get down there and come to discover, Kidder, that Wednesday night, early Wednesday morning, late Tuesday night, at some point, a drain up on the roof of the Heritage Center basically burst. And what ended up happening was we ended up having it flood one of the major galleries of the Heritage Center. In fact, future Howard will insert the clip in, but one of our security guys actually took video of it, and it actually sounded like a waterfall in this gallery. So got the picture up here of the gallery.
That's rough.
Yeah.
There's a drain on the roof, huh?
Yeah. And so this area that you see, this backdrop here, the leak was right above that. And so it just came down and just pooled. I mean, it was like a small lake in this gallery and leaking out into the main. But the other part of that is my office is directly below this gallery. So for us, we had leaking in our file room. So if you look here, you can see this is after we were able to, because like I got there, we discovered it leaked. Me and one other coworker, she'd just gotten there a bit before me and had talked to a few more people than I had. And she was already gathering carts because this was in our file room. We knew we were going to have to pull files. Our one coworker, our administrative assistant, her desk was right under this. So like her desk got flooded. So they were cleaning that up. And we just dove into trying to rescue things. But yeah, this is our one storage room. We eventually had to put tarps down. You can actually see in this photo where we've removed the ceiling tiles, but that's where the main leak was into this room. And I mean, it was, again, small lake in there. Here's our other file room. And you can, again, see kind of a lake within that.
It's a bit moist.
Yeah. So got to help pull these files. I ended up getting a shop vac from facilities, which actually, great funny story. I went with our facilities manager, who was, of course, he was incredibly busy trying to get the cleaning crew in, trying to kind of answer everybody's questions and all of that. And I asked him for a shop vac. He's like, yeah, I know where there is one. And he's like, I'll go get it for you. I'm like, no, I'll come with. You're busy. I'll come with. That way I can grab it and I can take it down and you can get back to doing everything you need to. And we get up into the this maintenance room that they have, and we find the top of the shop vac, but we don't find the bottom. And we're looking around. Yeah, we're looking around. He goes, oh, I wonder if it's on the roof. And so he goes and he opens the door and turn and look. Oh, yeah, there it is. Let's dump that out. Take that back inside. So, but then I.
So first question is, why was it on the roof?
I don't know.
Did he mention? No.
No,
Okay.
he didn't know either.
Yeah, I don't know why it would be on the roof, but you know what? First thought after it's not there, maybe it's on the roof. Like, why? Okay. All right.
I don't know, but it goes to show how good our facilities manager is, and he knows his staff, that he had that like instant, like, it's on there. But I ended up Kidder in that first file room kind of the rest of that time, sucking up water into a shop vac. Me and one of my coworkers, he ran home and grabbed his personal shop vac, and the two of us, we pulled basically 2 shop vacs worth of water out of that room. Let's see what else. And then because we have carpet squares in our facility, eventually the cleaning crew came through. We immediately hired a cleaning contractor to help with the cleanup, and they pulled all the tiles out. Here's our administrative assistant's desk area. So this is the one that got kind of flooded out, and you can see the trim that's been pulled off. You can see a dehumidifier. I think I have another shot of it. Yeah. So yeah, water was pouring down kind of right on this edge of her space, leaked all the way down into our mail area.
Just awesome.
Yeah. And then, so they pulled all the carpet tiles out of the main file room. We're drying that out. And they took Kidder and they laid all of these out in our main hallway and put them with fans to try and dry them out. So you can see it stretched all the way, comes down to the end, hooks around that corner for a ways. But this is also only from the door to my division. These carpet tiles actually go behind me all the way to the wall that's behind me. Probably another 25, 40 yards. So
that's ridiculous.
I mean, it's a long line. So yeah, that was my my Wednesday. Was went from, hey, I'm not going, I have to figure out what I'm going to work on today, to, well, I'm going to spend half my day trying to clean up this mess. So it was a interesting day. We had to close down that the gallery that flooded. We closed down the file rooms because we get a lot of contractors. We are part of my division is what's called SHPO. So, and SHPO is the Historic Preservation Office. The very quick down and dirty idea of explaining that is if you're doing any sort of building, new construction project in the state, you have to run through SHPO to make sure you're not destroying, cultural or historical artifacts, things like that. So basically, when these companies make their plans, they then have to make a report, and basically they come in, they use our files to search and see, hey, what things have been documented, what sites, all of that, and then they submit the report to us. And we have several archaeologists and such who part of their job is reviewing compliance. So they look at those, they look to make sure is the form filled out correctly, they make sure, hey, you're not going to destroy cultural artifacts, or if you are going to an area that possibly has them, what are you going to do to mitigate that and make sure that it's all well and good. And if you think that that's an easy job, I forget the exact numbers, man, but it is
Probably a lot.
It's like thousands upon thousands of these forms that come in, and they turn them out in a week. Like when they come into Shippo, these guys like take them, review them. If there's comments, they send it out. But it's a week at the longest for a turnaround, which is incredible. When I say that there are thousands of documents that are coming in, reports and things to look at, it's impressive. And I wanted to say that because a lot of times, because we are just the bureaucrats that nobody sees. The Shippo gets blamed for a lot of like holdups with a lot of projects, when sometimes it's like, hey, the firm that is designing this hasn't submitted the report, and that's why there's a delay. But they're not going to say, well, it's because I haven't done my job. It's Shippo. We're waiting for Shippo. So we get a lot of blame for that, because we're, again, the faceless entity. So anyway, it's we had to close our file room. We're hoping to reopen it Monday and kind of be back to normal. So that said, not a lot of damage down in my area. We had a couple files that got soaked. We'll reprint those off. Not a problem. Upstairs, I think there wasn't a lot of artifacts and such that were actually damaged in that. The bigger cost is going to be the casework, because all of that is like MDF and plywood and such, and it's all that water is going to cause some warpage and such, and so there'll probably be some damage there and such.
Yeah.
So,
well, good luck.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of damage, Kidder, it's part of the reason I haven't stopped sharing my screen.
Damage Incorporated.
Well, one of the things I had to do this week. No. But you'll find this interesting. At the beginning of the week on Monday, we actually had to turn in our state fleet vehicle, IPA Rob and I, because we were getting a new one. So they were replacing our vehicle, giving us a new one, and I got to go basically drop off the old one, pick up the new one. And while I was in the DOT shop yard, I saw this and just thought I should take a photo and share this with Kidder, because you will find this interesting. So I know it's a little
That's a bad day.
And that's a highway patrol car, for those who don't know. It's had some of the markings and such removed, but yeah, that's a highway patrol car. So saw that, I was like, ooh.
So you just saw it, no information behind it at all, nothing.
Yeah, no, nothing behind it, but I just saw that, I was like, ooh, somebody in the highway patrol had a bad day. So
yeah, well, hopefully he or she is okay, because I know what it's like.
Yeah, I know you do. So anyway, I thought I'd share that with you. It's just something.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
Wonderful. You want to talk about something a little bit more upbeat?
Well, I guess. And hey, I thought I was pretty upbeat with the whole, hey, my workplace flooded. But sure, Kidder, hit us with something more upbeat.
Maybe satisfying, tasty. Well, today, National Cheese Curd Day. And one of the local places, regional places, good place for cheese curds is Culver's. If you're familiar with Culver's, I know we used to stop by Culver's every so often in El Forco Grande and enjoy some of their butter burgers or custard or perhaps a concrete mixer, or different things like that. And of course, a couple years ago, a Culver's opened in Mandan, and then recently a second location opened in North Bismarck. So with Culver's being now available in the area, been able to stop by several times and enjoy a butter burger or the other items that I mentioned and a few others. And I get an email a few days ago that today, the 15th, is National Cheese Curd Day. I'm like, okay, so I look at it. They have a Curder burger. A what? A Curder burger. And as you can see, the photo of it looks pretty interesting. I sent some photos. So, and the website on top of it. So I'm like, today only. Okay. I look at the email a little bit more. Originally, it started out as an April Fool's prank that Culver's played on everybody, where they tweeted out a photo of a curd burger where it was just a cheese curd patty on a bun. I mean, that'd probably be pretty good too, but this is a cheese curd patty and then a regular hamburger patty with their seasonings for the butter burger, along with lettuce, tomato, onion, mayo, and then, of course, the buttery bun that's nice and toasted for you. So I went and got one. It's not too bad at all. You know, partially expecting that it would be really sloppy or fall apart or perhaps extra greasy or something. No, it wasn't over the top. They did a nice job putting that together. So a little kudos to Culver's there with the curds, and just delicious. So I'm going to share that with you. What? Why are you shaking your head?
Well, you're sharing with me at like 10:24 p.m., man. It's not like now I get to go and enjoy this.
I somehow knew that you were busy all day cleaning up.
I could have suggested Culver's for dinner. Lefty and I could have gone, taken Junior. Yeah, but no, you shared this. You didn't share this until now. Now it's too late. Now I'm going to have to wait till like next year.
Maybe. I did share it on Facebook before they closed.
Well,
I know.
Listen,
You don't get notifications on my page. I didn't share it on the Triple B page. Culver's hasn't sponsored us yet, which Culver's, if you're a representative listening and you want to do some ads or sponsorship, you can contact us for that at beerbluesbs.com. Here's the website for you, beerbluesbs.com.
yeah. Then everybody can learn about these deals 3 weeks late.
I think by next year we might be either caught up or have this whole thing figured out.
Maybe we'll see, Kidder. I mean, hey, not to talk too much strategy and such, but you know, like in April, I can't guarantee I'm going to be around for a bit. So we're either going to have to fill the feed with clip shows, or you're going to have to find probably a different co-host for a couple weeks. So just throwing that out there.
So both of us are just going to go on vacation. That's what I'm hearing. All right.
Well, just had to put up like intermission, like on the site.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good. So my review was 0 to 5. Their butter burgers are pretty good by themselves, and you add a cheese curd patty on top. I'll give it a 4 out of 5. Solid 4 out of 5. What?
I'm still just disappointed, Kidder. You didn't tell me until now. I'm sad, man. Sad.
I could have just not told you, and then you found out on Facebook tomorrow. Imagine how pissed you would have been then. Holy crap! That picture looks good, man. Well, can I get this burger? Oh, one day only.
One day.
Although, maybe if you con them into going to Culver's and Fargo tomorrow or Grand Forks, you can ask, because they might still have the curd burger patties.
You know, I hate to say it. I already know where we're eating lunch in Fargo, and I'm pretty sure I know where we're eating dinner in Grand Forks. So, yeah. So, it's all right. I'm just going to sit here and cry my sad tears into this non-alcoholic butterscotch beer, which is fabulous, by the way. I highly recommend it to anyone. If you like butterscotch, it's excellent.
Are you not telling me the locations of where you're eating because you'll know that I will be disappointed? Or are you just withholding since they're not paying for the free advertising?
The second one mostly.
Okay.
It's no real secret. I think in Fargo we're eating at Smash Burger because Lefty can eat there. And from years of going to games with my in-laws, you know, they go to the traditional place of the red pepper. So, I mean, it's where we're
Make sure you load up the extra white sauce. You can't just go with the little bit of the white sauce. You got to go with the extra white sauce.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or the chips and salsa. Big fan of their chips and salsa. So it's kind of it's a very sweet salsa, which is kind of different, but yeah. So no, that's more than likely where we're going to end up going. So,
all right.
But
I thought I would try.
Yay. No, that's okay. What you should be jealous of is I may get to run into and spend a little time with a certain gentleman from Indiana. So,
so then you can berate him in person. Yes, I am jealous of that because that pile hasn't been on this show, and we've only been calling him out for a good 15 episodes plus.
Longer than that, Kidder.
Probably 25 by now, because time flies when you're having fun, especially on the Triple B.
No, we're up to, let's see, that would have been 22, so 23, 24, 25 episodes, Kidder. 25 is
it is 25.
At. But yeah,
okay.
I'm going to have to warm up the old chopping hand if I do see him.
Yes. Get that going. Give him a stunner from me.
Oh,
Tuscan.
We've had this running joke between the two of us. And gosh, I don't know that we did it the last time. I think the last time one of us did it was at his wedding. But you basically you give the classic, Ric Flair woo chop to the other one. So, like, if he sees me, he'll probably try and get me. If he gets me, then I have to respond, with, hey, what the hell? What the hell?
What the hell, man? What the hell?
Yeah. So,
yep.
Better get some practice chops in at some point.
Yes. Stretch that shoulder out. You don't want to pull a rotator cuff or something like that. I mean, we need you in tip-top shape for this show. So rotate it up, get it going. Remember, cross stretch at least 15 seconds per side because you want to get that good, nice little burn. Pull the tissues, get going. You know what I mean? Make sure your shoulders are loose and get that full range of motion. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I won't do any of that, but yeah.
Well, you're gonna have at least 3.5 hours on the road to do something. So you might as well keep your hands occupied, keep them in fighting form. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I'll sit there. I'll needle him. We'll see. But hey, you know, I mentioned episode 28 is live as we are recording this. So the race is officially started, Kidder. Who's gonna be first? Will it be the gentleman from Indiana? Will it be Farva? Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, the suspense. It's exciting.
And a delayed happy birthday to Farva as well, because, you know, with this episode being delayed and his birthday being in the middle of the week instead of on the night that we record. But I'm sure he still won't hold it against us, because he'll probably end up being on the show before somebody from Indiana. So there's that.
Yeah. No, we'll see. So exciting.
All right. Maybe we berated him enough that he'll finally give in, or it'll just keep on going until this time next year, and we have filled plenty of content at his expense. We'll just have to see.
We will. I mean, I do think he'll be on the show at some point, you know, but we're waiting.
Yeah. Anytime, dudes. Anytime. Speaking of waiting, some people have waited, and this kind of fits into the food portion that we just talked about. But back when Microsoft was advertising the Xbox Series X, and you may remember the ads. It was kind of, okay, yeah, you don't have cable or generally see a lot of ads, and we don't have advertising on this show at this point. So Xbox Series X advertised out there, glowing, opening up kind of, and so you see this box, and it kind of looks like a fridge. People started, I don't want to say protesting or demanding, but they were hoping to get Microsoft to release a refrigerator that looked like an Xbox Series X, as in a full-size stand-up refrigerator in your kitchen. Microsoft trolled these people and had ads relatively soon after they started getting momentum for this idea of a full-size refrigerator that opened and glowed and all of this. So there must be a few prototypes up there somewhere. So after a year, or however long it's been, Microsoft is like, you know what? How about we actually release a consumer product that people can buy who are fans? So they have teamed up with Target and a few other retailers globally. In the US, the exclusive retailer for this product is Target, for the Xbox Series X mini fridge. It glows. I don't know if it makes any sound, but that'd be kind of neat if it opens and makes the disc tray sound or something. I don't know. But it at least glows green and can fit a 12-pack of cans. And so, for the low price of $99.99 US, I'm going to attempt to get my hands on one with a pre-order on Monday. Or no, Tuesday the 19th. Get my days mixed up. Tuesday the 19th is the pre-order for it. So I will try to get myself an Xbox Series X mini fridge and then find a place for it around here so then I can have another beer ready to go in the middle of the show. So there's that piece. Your thoughts on the mini fridge?
I mean, not really a product that I'd say interests me. So, hey, if it's something that brings you joy, good on you, man. But I'll pass. I don't need one. But hearing this, Kidder,
the other. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say this. Just kind of reminds me of other things like this, where you get, people basically requesting things that started off as like April Fool's jokes. In fact, what was it? Hendrix,
like the Curder Burger.
Yes, that's a great example. I was going to say Hendrix Gin, April Fool's thing about gin-soaked pickles. And I've seen recently that they've released those. So those exist out there in the world. I see this a lot also in Kickstarter, where people will request things and request loudly enough that creators will put things into their games that they never intended to be in their games. Oh, you're going to be presenting.
Well,
go ahead.
There's the original. Did you have this already ready to go, or you had another item?
I was setting up something else, so
okay.
I was just about to select the window, and also it's like Kidder is presenting. It's like, oh, okay.
Sorry, brother. There's the original meme. This is back in March of 2020. So that's how long they've been going with this whole meme. And of course, the regular fridge compared to the mini fridge. So there's that. But again, here's the page itself with the mini fridge. Has a USB port on the front, so then you can actually pull that up. But yeah, there's that for you. We'll see if I can get my hands on one. But what gimmicky type thing were you thinking of or trying to share?
Well, you kind of killed the momentum on it, Kidder. Like that just boom.
I'm good at that. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I was building up to this great epic reveal of the Batman Chronicles Kickstarter where the people pestered them enough, and now in that game we have this.
Looks like you need to update. I'm sorry.
All right. That's it.
What is that? Is that a flying cow? Is that a flying cow?
It was Bat Cow. It's all right.
Bat Cow. I thought it was.
This bit has been killed.
Like Molly the move on to something else. Is that what that cow's name is?
No, it actually in the comics there was a Bat Cow. Mm-hmm.
So what's the story behind the Bat Cow?
I've already laid it out. The people said, "Hey, we should have this really obscure character that appeared once in the comics or a few times in the comics," and the company was like, "Oh, okay, yeah." So now I have a game with the Bat Cow. Yeah,
fair enough.
Yeah,
I also was asking the question of like, why would they make a Bat Cow? Like, what did Batman need a side of beef? Did he have a beef?
It's one of those things in the comic industry. Sometimes they let their creators just do weird stuff, and you end up with Bat Cow. It's kind of like there's a Spider Ham in the Marvel universe.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you don't know about Spider Ham?
No, I seem to have missed that one.
Yeah.
I seem to have missed that that stunning piece of comic book quality stuff.
Yeah,
I think I missed that one.
Yeah,
I knew DC needed a little extra kickstarting, but Marvel, I mean, really?
Yeah, Marvel has their whole multiverse such. So yeah, there's a multiverse where Spider-Man is Spider-Ham. And instead of Peter Parker, you have Peter Porker.
That's I don't I don't really have words, I guess. I mean, that's just it's really not bringing home the bacon, I'm sure. Oh, and there's a Monkey Avenger.
Yep, they did a whole series, Marvel Apes. Yep.
Ah. I see.
Heroes
So
as apes.
All right.
As I said, sometimes in comics, they let them do these really weird, crazy things. And sometimes they catch on and sometimes they don't. So DC did it too. That's where you get Bat-Cow. Excuse me. And anyway, yeah, you had some people who basically brought it up during the Kickstarter, and the company behind it, Monolith, said, okay, yeah, you guys are excited about this? Sure, we'll make Bat-Cow. So, yeah. So,
I mean, who was really excited for it? Were there that many fans, or did they just go poll the countryside?
You get these people in a lot of the Kickstarter, especially ones that are like a licensed product, where it's like these super fanboys who it's like they have their thing that they want, and they will just sit in the comments and spam it over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And until basically the creators who are reading through the comments go, gosh, there's really a lot of clamoring for this character or this thing. Let's put it in there. And truthfully, it's like, a small group of people who are really like, yeah, it's
interesting.
Yeah, which I'm a little bit more okay with that than the other one, which is the whining, which you sometimes see, like Cool Mini or Not, or Simon just did the actually just did a couple months ago, did their follow-up to Marvel United, which was Marvel United X-Men. And the amount of whining over some of the characters like not being in like the first, because like the box comes and it's like, hey, there's 8 characters in the box, but you already had people who are like, well, Colossus isn't in this. I'm not buying it. There's no Nightcrawler in this. I'm not buying. It's like, guys, they're gonna do like a bunch of expansions for this. We will get these characters. But yeah, you had people who were like, if we don't get Nightcrawler, I'm pulling my pledge.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a bit intense.
Yeah. But you get those fandoms. And as I said, they're sitting there and how can you have an X-Men game without, here's a list of, bunch of characters, mostly obscure, So it's
interesting.
It's the fun when you get into some of these fandoms. So yeah.
Well, we're on that and people spamming and doing different things. I just wanted to quickly mention before moving on to the next related topic to what we were talking about before we got to this point. The Federal Trade Commission has sent out notices to many large companies, and this includes Facebook, Twitter, Google, store chains, like everything out on the market, down to even Yelp and different reviewing agencies. And the reason that they sent this out and said in a qualifying notice that, well, it's not saying that you're doing this, but we're cracking down. They are cracking down on false reviewing to boost items, boost sales. So to the point of spam, 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 spam. If I keep doing this, we'll get this product created, sent out, whatever the case is. The other part of it, all these false reviews being put from the companies reviewing their own stuff from false accounts or bots or whatever the case is. So then you go on a website and you're like, oh, there's 3,000 reviews and they're all 4.5, 5 stars. Well, I should buy this. And then you buy it and it's a piece of crap. The FTC is cracking down on that with hefty fines and regulations. So get on it. But there's none of that going on here, so you can give us 5 stars if you'd like in a review. Just throw us one of them likes, the thumbs up if you would, and help us get actually noticed and out there too.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to, within that, go after negative reviews, because I have seen stories where people will basically negative review bomb their competition, and so basically post a bunch of fake reviews on somebody else's product that's a competing product and just destroy it.
From what I saw, I believe that is also the case, because it didn't say positive review boosting, it just said the false reviewing. So to me that says, again, the boosting it so then you have a better review, people buy it, but then the inverse of that, as you mentioned, of bombing the other person's product with a bunch of negative reviews. So then it hopefully brings the overall score down.
Yeah. I'll tie this into something again, let's bring back geek stuff. The premier geek game rating and kind of index of games is boardgamegeek.com. And one of the interesting things that you'll see, especially, again, if you're a Kickstarter guy, is every now and then there's a game where it's been announced on Kickstarter. So the folks at BGG have started a page for it. And they're already, the game isn't out yet. The Kickstarter is still running. And there are people, already giving it 10-star reviews. The game isn't out. They haven't played it, but they're giving it 10-star reviews. And they're doing it to counteract people who are giving it 0-star reviews. Again, it's not out yet. I mean, but you see these battles, and you'll see the nitpickiest comment. I gave this a 10-star to counteract these, people giving it a 0. It's crazy.
Makes perfect sense. I know a lot of I shouldn't say a lot of the sites, but one site in particular that I'm thinking of, you can't review the product unless you have actually purchased the product, or there's that differentiation where you click that you have actually purchased it, and those are weighted differently than if you haven't. So good on the FTC and the sites that promote legitimate reviewing. So thanks. The next part, we're continuing at the game theme. The rumors are out there. What could they be? Well, they're rumors, so we may never know until next year. But we have been general fans of Call of Duty for quite some time. Of course, for me personally, I skip pretty much every other year when they come out with a new version of Black Ops or a filler between the Modern Warfare series or the year they came out with World War II. And the new game allegedly being worked on is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, which will be somewhat of a remake of the 2006 game, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, to bring it up to current gen standards, but I'm assuming they'll also change it up a bit like they did with Modern Warfare that already came out, coming up on 2 years ago. And also, I guess, that's really the only thing. Get the article, so can check that out. But the other, you were going to mention
just gonna
something
say-
there. Sorry.
I was just going to say I haven't read the article, so I was just curious, Kidder, if this Modern Warfare 2 is coming with the subtitle of Modern Warfare 2 requiring all the gigabits.
Yes, every single one of them. And speaking of that, I have not checked my overall size that's on my Xbox Series X, because with the next generation console, they have additional texture packs to download. So it helps make the game look even better. But the last time I looked, it was somewhere north of 250 gigabytes for Call of Duty. And now they instituted streaming textures, so you can stream textures into the game while you're playing to help make the game look better. But God help us if we actually do something about the cheaters. You know, make the game look better and add another 30 freaking skins for a gun that you'll never use, or notifications for some stupid thing in Call of Duty Cold War that has nothing to do with Modern Warfare, aside from they're tied together because of the name and Warzone. But you can't access the stuff in Modern Warfare. Absolutely the stupidest thing. Because no, I'm not going to buy your stupid Cold War game. No, I'm not going to play Warzone. And I can't even access the stuff in Modern Warfare's multiplayer. So you take your stupid skin, shine it up real nice, turn it sideways, and shove it up your ass. That's really what I have to say with that. But Call of Duty 2 apparently will be the sequel coming out in 2022, and Modern Warfare, for the record, came out 2019. The pieces with it might include some Warzone incorporation, including it. Who knows? We'll end up probably seeing within the next 3 months, because obviously as 2022 is rapidly approaching, that's one thing, but who knows? This was just announced at the beginning of October from a so-called leaker of that information. So you take it with a grain of salt, and we'll end up seeing what happens. Also this week, speaking of Call of Duty, Infinity Ward announced that the cheaters beware, we're coming for you. And I mean, I laugh every time that popped up on my timeline, because that is kind of a joke in of itself with how much the cheating is running rampant in the game. And I can't remember if it's called Crossfire or something fire, backfire maybe, I don't know, ricochet maybe. There's so many different terms, but one of those is the term that they're going with for this upcoming update that will hunt down cheaters and remove them from the game. So we can only see. Until then, just keep reporting.
Please tell me that whatever is hunting them, like, is an actual, like, physical manifestation in the game, and that as it comes after them, you start getting that dun-dun, dun-dun, doo-doo-doo,
I think the Juggernaut music might just start playing. And right before you die and get permanently banned, it goes, "I'm the Juggernaut, bitch," and then you're locked out of the game.
I just like the idea of the, because, if you go with the Jaws theme with that, right, you wouldn't have to necessarily show the shark, but, if you've seen Jaws, one of the techniques that they use in the movie to track him, the shark, is they harpoon it, and they have these barrels filled with air, these yellow barrels. So whenever they surface, you know that the shark is nearby, and it's just supposed to tire him out as he tries to drag these things. So how great would that be if, like, someone is running around, doing their no scope cheating, and all of a sudden this barrel starts chasing them wherever they go.
Yeah.
Because then it would also give like everybody like who is like putting up with this, you get the enjoyment of watching this like barrel like chase it, and if it ever catches the guy, then it's like yanks him out of the game,
pulls them under the map, and then they disappear forever.
Mm-hmm. I mean, listen,
I could go with that.
At least then we'd get that entertainment. I mean, how much fun would that be to watch like some guy running across the field, this barrel just chasing him?
He'd still probably be quick scoping you along the way because they're cheater bastards like that.
Yeah, but hey, you know, at least then everybody would know. Like, you see a barrel chasing somebody, you'd be like, oh,
yeah. That son of a bitch is gonna get got, as R-Truth would say.
Yeah.
So the last piece that I want to bring up, because there was the Battlefield 2042 open beta, and I didn't get to play a lot of the game. There's only one map, and the matches typically last 30 to 60 minutes, somewhere in there. But I didn't get to play a lot. I made it to level 6, so I played enough. The map's large, and apparently that map is one of their medium-sized maps. So we'll see. There's, again, 128 people on a map, up to that limit at a time. Different game modes and things, and so the dynamic weather, very interesting as it moves in. I did not get to see a tornado, so super pissed about that because I would have found a vehicle, which you can drive the regular vehicles on the map. If you find a pickup or a sedan, you can drive those. So kudos to that, because how many times have you walked past a vehicle in different games? No, that's just part of the scenery. Yeah, but can I drive? No, you can't drive that. No, it's there. Battlefield/EA came out with some statistics this past week, and the numbers are pretty ridiculous of how many bullets were fired, how many rockets were launched, how many tornadoes were spawned, how many noob tubes were launched, how many miles walked for characters, things like that. And what I know you only saw some videos, but what was your perspective and thoughts on the game?
Actually, I didn't see anything. I have been so busy. I haven't seen anything.
Well, shit.
I
thought you saw some damn videos here. Let me get the phone. Let me call up Brother Nico and Rude Boy Kyle, because I know they saw a video. We'll get them going. Damn it.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen anything. I spent my time this week, Kidder, trying to, and I was successful. Which by the time this episode comes out, hey, you guys got to see this in episode 30. I was able to download the video that I talked about last week when we were talking Battlefield, of my crashing the vehicle, hopping out, and shooting a guy. So, hey, if you want to see that, check out the YouTube version of episode 30, and it's in there, and you can see it. But yeah, I spent some time figuring out how to download that. I may have painted some stuff. Yeah, I mean, I have a kid.
It sounds like a bunch of wimpy excuses to me.
It's just one of those things. I just don't have time to watch Battlefield.
I kid. I'm kidder. I'm kid. So
I had to watch some guy walk in a straight line across the country, Kidder. That's what I was doing.
It sounds like a bunch of bullshit. Okay. So here's some upcoming games. before we go old school unholy alliance on each other here, this is the graphic that EA put out from the open beta. So there's 17 million over that number of total bullets fired. The top 5 weapons, which there weren't, a million different weapons. So top 5 of 30, whatever. So the M5A3, I think that's what I played with 99% of the time. You have the LCMG, AK-24, and PBX-45 for your SMG, and then a K-30. The top 5 equipment, so out of the 4 characters that you have, each character has a piece of equipment. Whether if you're sniper class, it has I shouldn't say sniper class. The guy who looks like a sniper, you get a drone. It's all right. The lady that's like a medic, Maria Falk, she gets that little nifty gun in the top right, which is a basically medical booster gun. So you can shoot yourself up, or at certain ranges, shoot your teammates and give them a health boost. The other guy, Webster McGay, has that little grappling hook tool. And then Boris has the little sentry gun. And you can see those top 4, or all 4 of them in the right portion of that. The vehicles, I don't know what the Nightbird is, but I'm guessing it's the jet. The LATV-4 is probably the helicopter. And then you have the Wildcat, the T-28, and the Condor. There was a tank, Jeep, or Humvee with a mounted gun, and then just like a, all-terrain type vehicle. And then a quad. It was one of those, which I believe is actually, if I remember it correctly, it actually says Polaris on the back. So those people from Team Arctic Cat are going to be pissed that the Team Polaris people get the quad in the battlefield. So we'll have to see what happens with that. As I mentioned, the rocket launches there. The rocket is in that picture. It's on the map. You can apparently launch the damn thing. So 380,000 plus rocket launches. There's an elevator and building on that map, and I believe there's one on the rocket. So 5.8 million elevator rides. Imagine if they only had our show playing in there to help them out as they rode up to the top. Parachute jumps as you jump off of things or out of planes. You can pull your parachute so then you don't smear your character on the ground. Over 10.5 million of those. The failed rocket launches, I'm guessing this at the end of the match, and a rocket didn't launch. 58,000. There's the tornado appearances, the number that, of course, is important in my perspective. Just under 100,000 tornado appearances. Them's rookie numbers. And then those assholes running around with C4 and tossing it and that stupid stuff. That's just under 2 million kills with the C4. So no penguins were hurt in the beta as well. That's what it says at the bottom. And then as you see on the right side of your screen, the new Call of Duty for this year, Vanguard. Not getting that one. That comes out November 5th. November 19th, this game. December 8th, a year behind that I pre-ordered Halo Infinite, so we'll see how that is, and Dying Light 2. So how about that? And then there's some more of the stats a little bit closer up in the actual text form for you. Your thoughts, Jacob?
Yep, those are stats.
I really thought that you'd be all over that, being the stat man that you are. Not to be confused with the scat man. Skibidi-bop-bop-bidi-bop. He's the stat man.
You know, again, if I maybe had time and interest in playing Battlefield, I would maybe, yes, find that interesting, but I don't know.
Well, one of these times when you make it down, I'll fire it up and then we can discuss. Because by the time this comes out, the game will almost be out.
Yeah.
So, fast forward. If you're watching this and it's several months later after the fact of this recording, then check out our future videos for even better content.
Right. Where Kidder has more to say and Howard continues to have nothing to add to this topic.
Classic. So I see a couple other items on here on your end of it. Could you go into more detail, since this is something that you actually have content to discuss?
Well, Kidder, I made the joke about watching people walk in a straight line across countries. I have finished all of that content that apparently exists on the internet.
All of it.
If there's somebody who has walked in a straight line across the country, I've seen it. So I've been a little like, meh, I have nothing to fill this newfound
void.
Right. So I mentioned GeoWizard and his videos, which got me started in on this obsession. And I was watching another one to like, maybe I would enjoy some of his other content, which for the most part is him playing the game GeoGusser, which I don't know if you are familiar with GeoGusser at all.
No.
So the very quick summary of it is GeoGusser is a game where there are 5 rounds, and it basically drops you into like Google Street View in a random place somewhere in the world. And you have to then try to deduct from kind of the surroundings that you can see on the Street View, find kind of where you are in the world and on the map, and you score points based on how close you are to the actual location and such. And there's also points, for how little you move and things like that. So anyway, he does a lot of that. Anyway, he decided to do a round of this in real life. So somebody built him a challenge in his home country of the UK, and his girlfriend drove him around blindfolded, dropped him off, and he had to find this out. I bring this up only for the one thing of interest, and that's in one of the rounds as he's walking past this farmer's field. And he's vlogging this whole time. He all of a sudden he jumps. He's like, "Oh my god!" It's like, that scared me. And he moves the camera over. He goes, "What are these figures in the woods?" And he moves the camera over, and here amongst the woods, there just happens to be a pair of statues. And I only had to look at it just for an instant, and I knew instantly what the statues were. Kidder. No.
Yeah. No.
Mm-mm. And it made me laugh, and I had to bring it up. And it's the only reason I'm bringing it up, because it was none other than these statues. And you've seen these statues before yourself, but of our nickname namesakes.
Yeah. Really?
It was Jake and Elwood,
wow.
the Blues Brothers, out in the middle of this random field in England, just tucked in the trees. I think, I'm trying to remember which one. One of them had lost an arm, because he climbed over and he looked at it. He's like, "What are these things?" And I'm just like, "It's the Blues Brothers. How do you not know this?" So,
what are these things? Come on, dude.
Come on. Yeah, a lovely Easter egg for you. So I thought I would bring that up. And then the other thing that I was going to share just ever so briefly, because I watched this at dinner and I laughed, and I'm like, I'm so bringing this up because I can.
Okay.
One of the other YouTube channels that I tend to watch is the Miniac. So he's a miniature painting guy, and he just released the third in a series of videos that is him and his good friend John doing drunk mini painting. And so what this is, they do 3 30-minute rounds. At each round, they get a cocktail, and in 30 minutes, they have to finish that cocktail. But at the same time, at the end of all 3 rounds, they have a miniature that they're supposed to have painted, and then they see who wins. It's very funny. I'll put a link in the show notes in case somebody wants to watch this. I was getting a good a chuckle out of it. But the thing, Kidder, that I was going to share was the drinks that they had. The first one was like a rosemary martini, which was interesting. The second one they had was a mojito. And they actually have a bartender who is making the drinks because, trust me, they did a little bit of pre-gaming before they filmed this. So, they're pretty out of it after not too long in this. But the third drink, it pops up and the bartender's like, for this round, we're going to make an old-fashioned. And I'm like, oh, boy. Uh-oh.
Am I going to have words with this individual?
So he takes and it shows him he's cutting up the orange, puts the orange in the glass. I'm like, uh-oh. And the next thing you see him reach over, and here comes the jar. He opens it up, pulls out the maraschino cherry.
That son of a bitch!
And he starts putting it on the rib, and I'm like, oh, it's a garnish. He's just making it look fancy. And no, he dumps it into the glass and then pours the rest of the drink on there. And I'm just like, oh, I got to mention this to Kidder. That they put a cherry in their old-fashioned, Kidder.
Clearly not an old-fashioned, not a Kidder-approved old-fashioned. That drink needs to get dumped straight into the garbage. Not even worth drinking. Don't care. Don't give it to me. Not worth it. Absolute crap. Where are these people? We need to go find them after we're done. Let's go. Are they in England? Are they here? No.
They're in Minnesota.
Well, I mean, that's part of the problem. I understand that you're a little misguided, okay? But there's still no reason to put a cherry in a classic old-fashioned. Like, if you want to get a Wisconsin old-fashioned, you go ahead and you have that nasty drink. If you want to get a Manhattan and you have a cherry in it, because the cherry goes in a Manhattan, you get a Manhattan. But if you want an old-fashioned, America's most classic drink, no freaking cherry. This isn't rocket science. I don't understand. In fact, right now, to help spread this cure for this nasty disease that's going around America, and yes, I'm talking about cherries and old fashions, go online right now. You can save people at bars. And think of all of the tens and hundreds of people you're going to save. Save one person a day by going to beerbluesbs.com. Purchase a Kidder Old Fashioned t-shirt. Maybe a glass. Something. Kidder's Old Fashioned apparel. Share the recipe. That quality recipe. Just share it out there. Wear it to all your favorite establishments. Howard did great on the design on that. Show it off. Help people discover a good drink. A quality old fashioned with no freaking cherry! Come on!
Well, Kidder, we've been talking for quite a while, and I mean, that's
I'm
a
gonna
great
burst a
rant
blood
to end
vessel.
on.
I'm gonna lose my shit over here. So,
Yeah.
is it time?
It's time. We need to wrap this up.
Get some cheap plugs, baby. So you just heard about the website where you too can sponsor sobriety in the form of staying away from nasty cherries in an old-fashioned by clicking the merch button at beerbluesbs.com. It's our website. It's available for you anywhere, anytime. beerbluesbs.com. Click on there, check it out if you would, because that is your home for this little show that we're doing, and we'd appreciate that you stop by, because you can, on our website, join us on Facebook. The link's right there. Find our YouTube page, then you can watch these episodes, or if you like to listen to these episodes, we have the link to our Podbean site as well. And from there, well, we also have our Spotify page where you can listen to this show and take the podcast with you, truly, wherever, whenever, right there on your mobile digital device. We are also available for you in those audio devices on Google Podcasts, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, iTunes. I mentioned Spotify, but there it is again, mentioning the old Spotify. iHeartRadio, Pandora, we're on Amazon Music, Stitcher, we're also on TuneIn, IMDb, and Player FM. On top of all of those places, yes, you can still stream it on YouTube, as I mentioned, so you can watch the show. You can comment on the shows as well. Click the show notes for extra information, extra little nuggets of fun, factual stuff from the show. And if you would, please, I said it again before, but I'll say it again here. For Facebook, if you would, please join us there on the Facebook page. It's facebook.com/beerbluesbs. Click the thumbs up, please. Or sorry, it needs to be that's a little bit better. Just do that. Please share it. Join us. Comment. Like us. Share the page. Sharing is caring. Share this with some friends. Click the thumbs up. We really would love for you to continue to be part of the show. And by doing that, buy us a beer. You want to buy us one of these tasty beverages? Because, of course, I'm out at the moment. You can buy us a beer right there at beerbluesbs.com. Your home for this here show, The Triple B, with a couple good brothers. He is my brother from another mother over there. That is the Howard Blues. Howard Jake Blues. My man right there. I'm the man, the myth, the legend, the Mark Kidder. Thank you for joining us right here on the Triple B. Another episode in the old digital books. We'll see you again next time right here on the Triple B. Have a wonderful time wherever you are, whenever you are, day, night, in between, weekend, week. If you're a certain coworker listening to this, putting together stuff, hey, you keep up the good work. Aside from that, well, keep your glass at least half full. And, of course, free beer tomorrow. We will catch you again next time down the old dusty Tuscan highway. So thank you. We'll see you again real soon.
You have been listening to a UA production of Beer, Blues, and BS. If you enjoyed the show, help others find out about it by rating the show or leaving a review at your podcast listening service of choice. Thanks for listening, and may your glass never be empty. UA Productions presents A Glimpse Behind the Curtain.
We'll see if he catches that. Because he mentioned it again today that he was listening to last week's episode as he was putting together some stuff. He's sitting there editing, and he's got his headphones on, and he's playing our show in the background. So I'm like, oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
hey.
And he just stops because he hears something funny. He's like, what did they, what? He backs it up a minute and listens. He just starts laughing in his chair. I'm glad somebody's getting enjoyment out of this show.
Kidder, I know it's always a little hard to see everything. I keep changing out what's behind me. I mean, Pacific Rim is still up there, but I maybe put some of the of my Monpoc collection up there, Monster Apocalypse. So I have a whole kaiju theme going up there, continuing the whole.
Just keeps growing.
Well, just continuing to play on that it is not the shelf of shame, but more of the shelf of trolling lame. It's
oh man, that's
what I'm going for.
That's good.